In many middle-class families, there is a designated responsible child. This is the one who never complains, the one who settles every dispute, and the one who serves as the household's emotional bedrock. Society and family members almost always celebrate this behavior as a virtue. In Indian households, it's often held up as the gold standard of sanskar, the ultimate proof of a good upbringing. However, this constant praise creates a mask. This forced role of the responsible one ends up feeling less like a character trait and more like a heavy obligation the child never signed up for. Every time they fix a family problem, they lose the space to have their own. They grow up quickly because the adults in the room are leaning on them, effectively revoking the child's permission to be vulnerable or make mistakes. This is the core of good kid syndrome. It is a process where a child learns that the only way to keep their environment stable is to systematically suppress their own emotional needs. In this struggle to maintain peace, the child loses their freedom to be impulsive, messy, and playful. They trade their innocence for the safety of the people around them. These children aren't actually maturing faster than their peers. They're learning a survival strategy, convinced that hiding their true needs is the only way to belong. When that hyper-independent child grows up and enters the professional world, those old survival strategies don't simply disappear. This flowchart tracks the pipeline from home to office. The childhood belief that value equals perfection morphs into a paralyzing adult anxiety over making mistakes. Corporate environments reward this trauma. Managers celebrate hyper-independent workers, accelerating a loop of self-neglect. Adult people-pleasing, a reflex built to keep a family calm, now dictates a career. It forces employees to accept excessive workloads and avoid the healthy conflict necessary for growth. The employee who never says no is often driven by a deep-seated fear of being useless. They aren't superhuman. They are performing a decades-old survival script that leads directly to burnout. To move past this, we have to distinguish between autonomy we choose and the caretaking habits we were forced to learn. This matrix shows the difference. Healthy responsibility is based on choice and personal capacity. Forced responsibility is survival-based, fueled by a fear that if you stop being helpful, you will be abandoned. You see this in leadership, too. Healthy leaders rely on delegation. Trauma leadership involves doing everything yourself because you have learned that you are the only one you can truly rely on. For these individuals, the thought of admitting they are overwhelmed or asking for help triggers an intense sense of shame. Operating on these childhood protocols makes it impossible to find genuine peace of mind or a sustainable way to work. Eventually, the weight becomes too much. The silent exhaustion catches up to hyper-independent adults when they can no longer maintain the illusion of being unbreakable. Recovery starts by auditing your daily reactions, looking for the specific moments where a childhood need for approval is still making your adult decisions. One practical step is to practice low-stakes requests. Ask a friend to handle a small errand, or have a colleague review a document. These small acts help desensitize the brain to the fear of bothering others. Next, you have to build structural boundaries. This means calculating your actual capacity and communicating those limits clearly to your family and your employer. You can also neutralize the fear of failure through daily habits of self-compassion. This trains you to see that making an error does not mean you have lost your value to the group. Using targeted daily affirmations can also help dismantle the inner critic that insists you must be perfect to be worthy. Realizing that your worth exists outside of your usefulness to others allows for a different kind of strength, one that includes the courage to be imperfect and the humility to ask for help.